Right after George Floyd's killing, the American College of Surgeons decided to form this anti-racism committee. We had put out a statement that condemned racism and all that it represented, but felt like a statement was just a statement and that we needed to do more. When you look at it, racism is everywhere in our country. It influences every patient, it influences every surgeon, it influences all of our colleagues. And our motto is to serve all with skill and fidelity. And I think the Board of Regents realized that if we were going to be excellent, and we are going to be excellent, there are a lot of things we have to be excellent at, and one of them is race. So the American College of Surgeons influences surgeons all over the country, supports surgeons all over the country, and we needed to look at the ways that would be our duty would be to support surgeons and support patients with surgical conditions all over the country. The Regents appointed a task force. I was lucky enough to be asked to chair that task force. It's been a great honor. And the task force met almost every week from June to September and really took a deep dive into the issue of racism in our country, the issues of racism in surgery, and a really careful look at what we're doing in the American College of Surgeons itself. We are looking at internally. Consequence of that task force, we formed a committee that is a regimental level committee. And that regimental level committee has the job of accomplishing a set of goals that we set forth from the task force. And most importantly, as a regimental committee, its main purpose is to set specific goals and to hold the Board of Regents and therefore the American College of Surgeons accountable for having specific goals and making progress towards them. I think it's a very powerful committee and it's going to get a lot of work done. We are looking at creating a just and inclusive environment within the college. That means looking at our bylaws, looking at how people progress, looking at how people get appointed to committees, how people get appointed to officership, presentations, and a supportive environment that looks at building a pipeline, that looks at mentorships, sponsorship, other types of opportunities across the College of Surgeons where we can look. There are 5 main areas, and the second of those main areas is a culturally competent workforce in surgery. And so we will look at tools for that, whether that's ally training, bystandership training, implicit bias training, whether that's new processes for recruiting, looking into applications, creating a culturally competent workforce, and then creating a diverse workforce. And that is going to be pipeline development, getting people into chapters, getting people on committees, getting people through the system. It will require some work beyond our area of total expertise because the pipeline actually begins way before medical school, way before surgery residency. But we will have a part of that pipeline that we will have direct responsibility for. And then we will have a part of that pipeline that we will need to have collaborations with other major entities to help create. But that's an area that we need to do. And then the fourth area of the 5 is public health and research initiatives. We need to create a research agenda for the American College of Surgeons to look at research in healthcare disparities and look at research of the impact of structural racism on surgeons, surgical practices, and patients with surgical diseases. And look for funding sources, look for philanthropy, look for federal agency support, look for any way we can to help support accomplishing that research agenda. And the last is advocacy efforts and legislative reform. You know, the American College of Surgeons has a really strong track record of advocating in Washington and in local districts for things that are important to surgeons and patients with surgical conditions. And we need to look at what our advocacy should be in this area, both for disparities of care and for improving elements of structural racism, both in surgery and in healthcare and in our society. So it's a huge job. This committee, this regimental committee now has a huge job. This is not going to be fixed in a day or a week or a month or a year or a decade. But there are a lot of things that will be happening now, and we will be setting up a communication strategy, a business plan, a research plan to start rolling these things out. And I hope through our new communication strategies, I think all the fellows and anyone who's interested will be seeing lots of progress along these ways. And we will need everyone interested in this issue, and frankly, everyone who wants to be excellent at surgery to help us get engaged. And we invite you to do that.